Back when I was a closer, I remember those times where I had no shows. I had people scheduling times and not being ready and not being on time. I had empty calendar spots. I didn't have optimized time schedules. And all these key pointers, all they did was just damage my commission check. And beyond just damaging my commission check, they damaged the company's revenue that I was working with, all the people on the team, and even the owner himself. Now being an operator, being somebody who's now on the other end of it, who's applying these systems to all of our clients, this is the exact pre-call system that every single info business needs if they want to be hitting at least six-figure months. And it comes down to doing the basics, but more importantly, doing the basics well, as I say within every video. And it all begins with having a funnel, a VSL. You want to have a very good funnel where when it comes to the VSL, it's structured, pain points are being executed, their desire gets increased, you're pre-handling, using it as an opportunity to increase their state, their desired state. Once they continue going through the VSL, their application gets submitted. This is where you want to have your CRM set in place, where this is all set up, which I'll be going over as well, where a CRM profile gets created. And in that creation, you have a custom field in there where you have the responses from the form. So in this case, where they're from, how much capital did they have to invest, and a true or false question. When it comes to having the questions to ask on your applications and on your type forms, it really comes down to making it short and concise, but trying to get as much information out of them. The first question being is a commitment question. So an example of a commitment question is either a mindset question or a time question. In the context of having a mindset question, embarking on a new journey requires taking decisions that you maybe didn't do beforehand. Are you in a mindset and in a point of life where you're ready to take things to the next level and maybe make a decision that you maybe weren't comfortable with? It's an example of a mindset question. A time question. This is actually one of my favorite questions to put into forms, but it's a very subtle one. And this is also a pre-qualifier before they get to the sales call. If you get people saying like, I don't have time to do the business, I got so much things to do, this is also a good pre-qualifier. And it's a commitment question, right? Are you able to commit 1 to 2 hours per day to work on X business? All right, let's say your business is a Amazon offer. Are you in a headspace where you can commit 1 to 2 hours on working on your Amazon business? And with that, that just applies to them more commitment. Second question, reason why they think they would be a fit. All right, you've got to have the mindset and the frame, even if this isn't you at this moment of time, but you have hundreds, you have thousands of students. And specifically with that, they need to be qualifying to you. All right, you can't be in a state where you're hungry to get students, you're hungry to get people to enroll. No, they need to be applying to you. They need to be proving themselves to you. And this is a perfect question where they qualify to you why they would be a good fit. I would be a good fit because I'm very coachable. I'm very motivated. I'm driven for success. I want to make this work. I want your help. Super good qualifying questions where it changes the frame. Number 3. If approved, how much are you actually able to invest? All right, this is a qualifying question. How much capital do they have? Again, they can go through the whole process, but if they don't have money or they don't have capital to invest into themselves, you're doing them a disservice and you're doing yourself a disservice, right? That time could be used better. Fourth question, what is their biggest struggle with X business? Let's say you're a trader, right? This is a trading offer. They want to learn how to get into trading. What are their biggest struggles with trading? What are they finding challenging? And being able to undercard that. And again, this is a good leeway where that information can be good for the seller to know, as well as the closer to know when they get to the sales call. And the fifth question is, what would you actually hope with working with name? In this case, it would be your name. What would they be hoping to get out of this? Whether is it commitment? Is it a relationship? Is it a long-term partnership that they want to have? And once again, more good, useful information that can be relayed towards the sellers and the closers. Eventually, the CRM profile gets created, right? And again, there's automations like Zapier that you can implement within the business that automatically does this, and it's all automated, right? So a CRM profile gets created onto a CRM, in this case, close.com. This is where new hot leads come in. And you would have a Zapier automation linked with the application that automatically populate on the CRM. All right, this is an example of a Zap automation. These are the smart views. This is where they would be redirected to. Untouched leads, leads to call, once again, application leads. And another thing you can do, you can also implement another Zapier automation where once somebody actually opts in the internal communications of wherever you guys operate, where in this case, most of our clients, we operate on Slack, they would get a specific channel and a message pop in so that the sales team can see, right? So again, Zapier automation, new opt-in came in, 5 minutes response time. The benefit of doing that is you can actually reach out to the people the second that they opt in. And the reason that's beneficial is there is a case study. I don't know the exact specific metrics on it, but when somebody's reached out within the first minute and for the initial 5 minutes of them actually opting in, the significant close rate of them actually becoming a student, becoming somebody who enrolls into the mentorship goes through the roof, right? So you super want to dial in your speed to lead Because again, once you can dial that in, it's like you can get consistent sets. People are going to see you as somebody who's more professional, more on their game, up to par, right? Because you reach out to your customers quick. So that's a really good something that you can do. And again, that's all automated with Zapier. And ultimately, after the CRM profile gets created, a setter reaches out to them on the team. So a setter would either reach out to them via the Slack message that they saw, whether it's an opt-in that came in the past minute, or they're just regularly dialing on the CRM. I can speak on this, and again, I can give you guys pointers because I have been a setter myself. I was arguably one of the best setters on the team. There was around 35 setters. I was one of the best. This is one of my best weeks where I collected 42,000 in 1 week. I've set deals for 10K. I've set more deals for 10K. Set deals for 7.5K. And this is the exact setter framework I used when I was a setter. And this is the exact same setter framework I got instilled by my sales director. And it's a very simple framework that you want to use. And the exact framework you want your setters to use on your offer is number one, what got them interested? What got the prospect interested in wanting to opt in? Are they interested in the time freedom, the location freedom, the financial freedom? What are they currently doing now? What is their occupation? How long have they been doing it for? Why is their current situation not the ideal situation? Why isn't being a nurse for 3 years something that they want to do long term? Why is it not ideal? What's the issues? Digging in their pain. And once again, that pain can then be used towards them into your mentorship, your program being the solution to overcome that pain. Ultimately, when you get their pain, you get their problems. What are they going through? What is it that they want? What do they want? How much money do they want to be making? What's the life that they want to be living? What do they want happen to them? Right? Again, these are questions where I want more freedom. I want to leave my 9-to-5 job. I'm tired of commuting to work. I want to spend more time with my kids. The next stage, why do you want that? Why is it actually important to them? I want to be able to retire early, right? I want to live life. I don't want to be a robot. Once again, digging into their pain and again, future pacing them in terms of what do they want out of life and positioning your offer as something that will cure that. An optional question is a consequence question where you pretty much consequence them. I mean, like I guess what happens if you keep on doing what you're doing now? I mean, is there any chance things can get better? No, I'll probably be staying in my 9-to-5 job forever. I'll probably never get to spend more time with my kids. I'm going to be trapped for work. I'm going to be old, and then by that time, I don't think I can really do much. And at this point, the frame a setter should have is kind of dumbing themselves down, right? Again, somebody who just helps on the team, gives people free resources, helps people out when they can. And you're proposing to put them on board with somebody who's a consultant, somebody who knows what they're doing. Their job is to help people like them. And this is where you would pitch to the closer and frame them as the next step, right? And that's the exact setter framework I use that, again, literally put me towards 42K weeks, 10K deals, one of the best setters on the team. And bear in mind, at that time, I was 17, competing with pure adults. The lead up to the sales call, super straightforward. And this is something you really need to dial in. If this isn't dialed in, you're going to have leaks in your system. And you can do this all flawlessly, but you can still have those missing leaks in your bucket of water, right? So the exact framework you want to have on the lead up to the sales call, you want them to receive an instant call confirmation. This is to be done on the call as the setter is speaking to them, right? Number one, an email going over the time, the date, plus the sales asset or sales assets, right? Videos, a pre-call video, a testimonial video, all these things that they need to watch before they speak to the closer or yourself, right? And again, this is instant, an instant call reminder that's done in the backend. This can be automated. And once again as well, setter also texts them through a personal number with their name, where they're from, and specifically the sales asset or sales assets, right? The general consensus that you want to have when it comes to numbers, just a quick tip here, you want to be able to have on the CRM numbers for each salesperson, a setter or a closer, numbers that they strictly dial from. So they strictly call people, that's all they do. And numbers where they have purely text numbers, right? So in this case, the setter would call them on a call number, a dial number, but the number that they text them from would be a personal number. It's only for text. And on this number, that's where you share their information, which allows the setter then continue to message them on the lead up after they get off the call, right? So a 24-hour reminder, another email gets sent. Hey, just a heads up, your call is in around 24 hours with Zach. Right? So again, you have that set up in place as well, where you have that reminder. That comes from the setter, by the way. And then you also have a auto email reminder. Very similar to the lines. You can use the same copy if you want, but I would generally recommend just kind of paraphrasing it a little. A 3 to 4 hour reminder, once again from the setter. Just a reminder, your call is in a couple hours. Enjoy, giving them that touch point. Another auto email reminder. Any of this point, they have not responded, they have not confirmed. You want to have a closer reach out to them, right? So closer, the first job that they need to do, double dial them first, always 2 call every single time. If they don't pick up, hey, just try calling you. It's Jake from JW Consulting. Are you still good for 3 p.m.? Once again, that gives more of a heads up and qualifies them again. And that's only if they didn't respond to the setter. Nevertheless, the setter is the final touch point 15 minutes before the call. Here is the link to the meeting, and that's where you put the paste link, whether it's a Zoom link, a Google Meet link, just making sure that they are showing up, that they have no choice whatsoever. And a lot of people can look at that saying is like, well, aren't you sending way too much stuff? Isn't that gonna fluster the prospect? Not necessarily. Like, you will be super surprised by the amount of things people are receiving on a day-to-day basis, whether it's text messages, emails. Even if they can just see one of these, once again, you're gonna be at top of mind. And all this does is just ensure that they actually show up ready to go. At that point, you have the sales call, and then that's the pre-call system. And that's essentially how you're able to have warmer leads, higher show rates, which again, it's only going to increase your revenue on a month to month, and have consistent calls. When somebody actually books on your calendar, be known and have that certainty, knowing like, they're going to be showing up. I'm going to have a call. This isn't going to be a gamble with between, is this person actually going to show up? They are. Right? Because you've done all the work on the back end, from the funnel, from the application, to the CRM setup, to the setter reaching out within the first minute to 5 minutes, the actual framework that they use to be able to do that, the booked call, the specific flows, the automations, 24 hours, 3 to 4 hours, 15 minutes. They have no choice but to show up. And once again, when you have such a dialed system like this, that can get automated, that can get systemized, you are going to see how easy it is possible to actually get to the point where you can have 6-figure amounts. And as always, as I will always say, it really is about just doing the basics, but more importantly, doing the basics well.